Hey friend, it's great to be with you here on this Church Tips podcast, and I'm with my friend Nathan Teagarden from the great city of Kansas City. Hey, Chiefs didn't quite pull it off this year.
They didn't.
I know it was a couple months ago, but how are you doing?
It's still
it's still there?
Painful. It's like, can we just start the next season and just forget about the past?
Okay, you keep Mahomes, buddy, and you're going to be you're going to be back there.
We're gonna be all right.
Yeah, it's all good. So anyway, we want to talk to you today. This is the final day of the Church University offering of the Connections track. So if you've followed any of our podcasts here over the last few weeks, you'll know that we have offered the newest course. This is the 5th course in the Church University offerings. We have the course on church board that I did. We had the church audio, which Stephen Maddox did from Hillsong UK. We had the preaching track that Chris Colvin did, and then the kids ministry track. So all 4 of those are in there, but the brand new one that went up last week and is there today, and this is the last day for the super deep discount of 2/3 off, is the Connections track. So it retails for $11.97, but you can get it today for $397. Wait till tomorrow, you pay $11.97. So we're strongly encouraging you to grab it today. I wanted to have Nathan talk to us a little bit about the course itself. Now, this is a comprehensive, 8 modules? 8 modules. He's covering A to Z. So give us a flyover of what the Connections track is.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, just to start, Connections is so important. And it really is. It's here now, but it's also the future.
Yeah.
I know that's been a part of the church, but it's more important than ever before. And I'm sure as a church leader that you felt this to where your people can have access to great content whenever they want. I mean, just right on their phone, they can listen to an incredible preacher and just whenever they want, multiple preachers. But the reality is they can't connect in that church. They can connect in your church. So this is why this is super important. This is why at our church we're so passionate about making sure we connect people.
Yeah.
So that's what this course obviously is all about. We talk about the big why behind it, and then we dive into the real how. You got to have a great system when it comes to connection. It's too complicated. There's too many things that could go wrong. People can fall through the cracks. People not being followed up with. So you just really got to have a great system for connections, and that's what this course goes over. This is what we talk about.
It really does. And again, reinforces A to Z. I mean, he's got all of it in there. This is not something you're going to do on the weekend, but it is something that you and your team can go through together. And I might mention to you, if you pick up the Connections track, you are able to give access to your other team members. So maybe staff members, board members, other key leaders, you give them their own login information, and they can go and you go through the course together. I think that's what makes it so valuable, because Nathan's content in there is so practical. Your lay people, your board members, staff member, yourself, you're going to look at that and say, oh, yeah, this makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And here's the reality. You can take, especially if you've got a lay leader that is running your connections or helping with your connections. I mean, we're doing this. The stuff that's in there is real-time stuff. I'm doing this at the church that I'm at as the connections director there. Yeah. So this is real-time stuff, and it's really going to help take them to the next level and implement some critical things that need to be a part of your connections process to make sure, because I know every church leader has been here before, where you've talked to people that you haven't seen in a while, where are they?
Yeah.
And then you finally get a hold of them, and they're going to some other church, or they're not going to church, and you're like, why? So, well, we just didn't really make friends, or we didn't connect, and you're just like, no, there's got to be a solution to this, and that's what this is all about. This is what we're passionate about. This is the content I put in there to help you solve that pain point, because not only is that important, obviously, for a church to grow and move forward, but obviously this has eternal impacts for people, families in your community to connect with others in your church.
And what I love about this content is, while it's practical, it's certainly not theoretical. It's practical. He lives this and does this every day of life.
Yep.
But he takes people from being what he calls a viewer, someone who is aware of your church, all the way through to being a fully devoted follower of Christ. And then ultimately those people multiplying themselves in the church. Would not you love to have a church full of fully devoted followers of Christ who are then opening their arms to more viewers coming in the door? That's what this does.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what I cover in modules specifically 2 through 7, where I'm talking about how you take a viewer, so somebody that I define that knows about your church, they're viewing it maybe as they pass by it on the highway or they know about it online. How do you get them through the door? So it's kind of got a marketing edge to it. It really starts there. How do we get them to be a guest?
Yeah.
Okay, once they're a guest, how do we now get them to be an attender, somebody who regularly attends the church? How do we get them from there being a participator, somebody that now is involved in a small group, or now they're enjoying the ministries of the church? And then how do you get somebody from there to being a partner, now somebody that's contributing to the church, then be a leader in the church, then to ultimately a disciple, now someone that's helping others go down that connections track. So it's very, very practical. It helps you literally take people from one stage to the next to help them move from a viewer to a disciple.
Let me tell you, Pastor, your church is too important to just diss this off. What God is doing, what God has put on your heart for the people of your church and your community is too important to not help these people connect in the body. And that's really, that's the driving force for why Nathan does what he does, why I do what I do. I mean, at churchuniversity.com, if you'll go there and go to that, just click on that link for the connections track, you can read down through, you'll see other key leaders, pastors around the country have created statements of endorsement of what Nathan's done, and the course, it shows you all the modules. You can download I think it's a 2-page description of the course, or the video titles. You're going to get all the videos. You're going to get all the discussion guides that go with it. There's a boatload of bonuses available. And all of this is available to you today for 2/3 off. I also want to mention to you that we have 3-month and 6-month payment plans. So, if you want to make the one-time payment is the least expensive, but if you want to do a 3-month or a 6-month, you can do that. And we just, auto debit your card on the 3 months or the 6 months. We're trying to do everything we can to make it workable for you. Because when you can get this, the vision the Lord has laid on your heart can become real, because people are connecting in the body.
Yeah, let me just say one more thing. It's so important that connections is strong in your church, because one of the value adds for it is just for you as a leader. When you cast vision and you have a very cohesive church that's very connected and people can easily implement into the body, it makes everything so much easier. So like when you're trying to do a capital funds campaign, when you're trying to launch something, when you're trying to do an initiative overseas,
you're trying to do missions, everything.
Everything becomes easier if you can get this right. So just as a leader, just the benefit to you as you're trying to move the church forward in other areas, to have a strong connection is like oil in the machine. It just makes everything flow so much better.
So just click the link here in the show notes and get the 2/3 off. So $11.97 is the retail, but for today you can get it for $397. Tomorrow goes back to the retail price. So grab that resource today. And we've got a 30-day money-back guarantee. So literally, you have nothing to lose. Is to jump in there, get in there, and kick the tires. And I'll tell you, when you get in there, you're going to sit there and say, oh my goodness, where was this when I started ministry? Well, we don't know where it was, but we know today it's available to you. Parting shots?
Well, hey, I just want to leave you with this. The course covers the why behind connections. It covers the how behind connections and covers the what. Okay, so you're going to get the big why. You're also going to get what do I actually need to do? And then also to where it doesn't just leave it as an idea of a theoretical. No, it actually helps you to know how to execute this, how to actually implement it, which is going to be so critical to make sure that you're connecting people in your church.
Absolutely. Nathan, thank you very much for all the time and effort that you've put into this. And I've watched these. I've watched every one of these. I'm telling you, the content is absolutely superb, and it's going to help you get where you want to go in connecting your guests. Thanks so much for taking time to hang out with us today. Go to churchuniversity.com, click the link here in the show notes, and feel free to ask us any questions. We'll be glad to help you in any way we can. Again, the launch offering ends tonight at midnight, and so jump in there, grab it, and make it a part of your church. Thanks for being with us. Be blessed.
Hey, Jonathan here, real quick before you go. Everything in your ministry rises and falls on your leadership. So investing in your leadership is essential to staying healthy and growing the ministry. And that's why I want to invite you to join us inside the Leaders.Church membership. This online streaming service for pastors gives you access to more than 300 videos plus training material to level up your leadership and improve your ministry skills. If you'd like to do that, I want to invite you to go to Leaders.Church/boost. Again, that's Leaders.Church/boost. Well, thanks again for joining us on the Church Tips Podcast. We'll look forward to seeing you next time.